All right, I would like to call to order the meeting of the Personnel Committee of the Niles Main District Library for December 3rd, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. Trustee Sheeler?
Present.
Treasurer Botello?
Present.
President Keene is present.
Sandra Hedwood, Human Resources Manager.
Valerie Marshall, Executive Director.
Thank you. All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag is over there.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, is there any public comment?
I did not receive anything.
And there is no one here to give public comments, so we can move on to the first regular agenda item, which is old business, right, I think, of
Discussing the purpose of the committee.
the purpose and scope of the Personnel Committee that we had brought last time. And Roberta, if you have a chance to review that,
Yes.
are you, any comments, or
Not at this time. No comments.
are you comfortable with us bringing it to the board then next week for approval?
Yes.
Okay.
I had mentioned the one possibility for a change that, let me pull it up, I know I have it here. The chair shall serve as a spokesman between the board and the staff. And I don't know, I thought maybe the board president should still be the spokesman instead of having
Yes.
a second person.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I'm good either way with it, but I think it's good to have just one voice between
Yeah.
the board and the staff, and things can get convoluted at times. And that's the only change from the revision that was submitted before that I see.
I agree to that revision. You agree with that?
Mhm.
Okay. Would you mind
All right.
revising that and having a copy for us next week for the
Okay,
meeting?
will do.
Or you could give it, email it to Valerie and they can
Yep.
print it out. Thank you.
Then I can put it in the packet if you email it to me by Friday.
No problem.
Thank you.
Okay. What was the next item?
The new business, begin review of the proposed new personnel policy manual.
Okay. I don't know if you guys were able to bring that with you. That's this, right?
Yeah, the handbook. It's 92
Yeah,
pages.
Okay, you know what, I do not have that. I mean, I've got it on my laptop, but I'll pull it up from there.
I figured we should just go through the first several pages and get moving, because we did do the one code of conduct policy was the more pressing item, so we took care of that. Now we can kind of, unless you guys have other ideas, just go front to back through the manual.
That's fine. Sure.
That would be my recommendation too. I think if the committee agrees, bringing the entire manual to the board at once, even if you've reviewed it in section, makes the most sense, because otherwise, as we go through the policy, if we approve it in sections, because the one that was approved recently was all new policies, we would also have to rescind policies as we go, which is a little messier and harder for staff to follow if we start approving sections and then rescinding sections of the old manual.
I'm not following
So
Can I finish up and then I'll let.
there's an existing manual.
Right.
It's not in the exact same order as this manual. And so if we piecemeal approve policies in here, the board would also have to go through and say, in the current personnel policy manual, we rescind XYZ policy.
Okay.
So it just gets a little confusing to follow
All right.
for the staff.
that. So when we're done with this, we can just say this is the new one, we're throwing out the old one?
Yes, that it makes more sense.
So what I've experienced is basically to simplify things. It's two binders. You bring a red one and a blue one. One color signifies the current policies, and either what happens is that you either literally pull them out and then have the new ones put in so that in your mind it's clear as somebody participating. that's something that's been very helpful in big negotiations and revisions.
Okay.
So, but I don't know, if we want to go through the printing of manner like it's relatively small print amount, but that's always an option, and it's very helpful to visualize it and to sort it. Because if you just kind of just take the numbers, you lose track of it.
Sure. Trying to think where I even have a copy of the other one.
We have it on the
It's-
website,
yeah.
and I'd be happy to print copies or whatever
Yeah.
mode works best for the committee.
I guess maybe it's an individual preference, right, for,
I mean, yeah, again, I've been in rooms where we have 300 people, and having that process is very helpful, because when you're sitting next to each other, somebody is not going to hear correctly, and then you kind of help each other out.
Yeah.
And you also have the screen up in front of the big conference room. But I mean, it's how the chairperson wants to run that meeting.
Okay.
You're chairing it, right? Yeah. So I mean, it's up to you, honestly.
all right, well, it's something for me to think about before the next one then. I don't really have I haven't done the side-by-side comparison yet either, so I kind of just,
So just like
Yeah,
as a point of reference, so I brought this with me. This is the most recent one I was at, and it's a relatively small print. But imagine we had to redo the entire book.
Is that like
wasn't-
200 pages?
300 and some pages,
Wow.
almost 400. But the point is that it's not always taken up at once, because it's
Right.
a large amount, but we did sections. But this is a smaller thing, and
Sure.
I think, at least from my experience, binders were very, very helpful.
I also brought with me, and it was something that I had emailed the board, I created an executive summary of the changes compared to the old policies and the new policies. So for example, the introduction of the new handbook compares to policy number 4.1 in the existing manual, and it talks about any differences that were made in this overview.
That was a very useful recap, and especially somebody coming in that might not have had all the information. Very concise way of presenting it.
Well, even if you're familiar with it, it's just when you're going back and forth, it's easy to go, which manual was that in now? Like,
Right.
which one's new, which one's older? So if it would be helpful for this particular meeting, would you like me to go through the executive summary at least, and then we can
Sure.
go over the manual as we have more time to digest it?
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. So, in the introduction and employment framework section,
Of the new or?
of the new.
Okay.
So this is all in order of the new manual,
Okay,
and it compares policies from the older manual. We expanded the overview and the disclaimers related to just generally working at the library. We added the library's mission, the inclusion statement that was already approved by the board several months ago, and a staff neutrality and patron access policy, which is entirely new and was recommended by our attorney. The way that it evolved, so I have this section here, is the original personnel manual briefly stated that at-will employment and board authority scope, and it was very minimally outlined. The new section adds mission-driven context, inclusion principles, and staff neutrality language, reframing the tone from legal disclaimer to organizational culture statement. So that was the intent of kind of reframing that part of the manual. And then we also mentioned the collective bargaining agreement, which was not in the previous personnel manual because we didn't have a contract when the previous manual was put into place. So it just talks about the fact that there are certain positions covered by a collective bargaining agreement through the contract with AFSCME. We also have a new section that formalizes chain of command expectations related to the authority that the board has delegated to the director specifically. It was implicitly implied before, now it's directly codified in the new manual. So that's the first section of the manual. Those are the big changes that were made. Do we want to go into other sections? Because I have it for the whole manual, but I don't know if it would be, if we want to parse it out a little bit.
I think that's a place to start for tonight, right? And then,
Okay.
I didn't bring the old one with me. I only brought the new one with me. So, what you just went through brings us to about what point in the new one, do you think?
It's the introduction and employment framework. There's a section. So that's just the very beginning. And then we get into equal opportunity, inclusion, and harassment policies, which is part 2.
It's this?
Mhm.
This, okay.
Yeah, so what I just talked about is the first like 2 or 3 pages. Very short.
All right, why don't we, have you guys read through the first 3 pages? Yeah.
I reviewed the entire.
Oh, you did?
document,
Well, you're-
Yes.
Way ahead of me. Thank you.
Well, you know, unfortunately, we've had it for a long
We
time.
have.
So thank you for putting that together,
Yeah, of
both of
course.
you. Because it does take a while to read, but I'm very familiar with the structure of this type of document, so it was, I hate to say this, but pleasantly enjoyable for me.
And it's great that you have this experience too, because you know how to parse it out.
You should do HR. No, I'm just kidding.
And we, just for the record on the recording, we also worked with our consultant HR Source. So the new handbook has been reviewed by an employment attorney through HR Source to make sure that a lot of what was updated in the manual has to do with updated laws and things. That it just, that happens over several years. It's been a few years since we did a manual, so.
Yeah, I have gone through those pages in particular. I definitely have covered, and I thought they were very good. So I don't have anything that I would want to change in those. I am not prepared to go further than that tonight. But I think we have, Dave, do you have any input on that?
So I've got the executive summary, but I'm having a little bit of a problem finding the proposed policy. Was that in the
That would have been
email
in the
too?
same email.
It was in the same email. Okay, +1 here, let's put that up here.
And if the committee would like, we could potentially take a short recess. I can print things out for everyone if we want to go a little bit further, or whatever you'd like.
I think that we have the evaluation stuff to discuss too, so I think that is enough for tonight, really.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, yeah.
Because that's
it-
timely,
Right.
so.
It is a lot to go over,
It
so.
is, yeah. I'm gonna send it to you again, Dave, just to make sure that
Okay.
you have it.
Are you just looking for this?
The draft,
Do you
yeah.
want to see it? Do you want to just look at it? Are you gonna, okay.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Roberto, did you have any specific notes from going through the first few pages that you wanted to discuss?
Well, the one that I have here highlighted that's important for me and would like the committee to consider is, let's see, what page is this? Let me just, the electronic version is not numbered. But with regards to collective bargaining agreement, the introduction of it, again, I don't have, I guess it's page 7. So essentially, what I've known is that sometimes something called bargaining units within the contract are described, and if there's no bargaining units that are separated within the policy, job titles are actually listed on in some of these policy manuals. So I'm just interested in knowing if the committee would consider listing the job titles.
So what the attorney through HR source advised was to leave that list in the collective bargaining agreement, because it is listed in our collective bargaining agreement, and to just keep this language in the personnel manual as simple as possible, since they are two separate documents. So just to share that as well.
So just out of curiosity, so during the onboarding process, I would imagine then the employees are given the collective bargaining, the actual agreement?
Yes,
Correct.
yes. And that is also on our website as well. So we have that available for everyone as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that's what the committee recommends, then I'm fine with it, because hopefully, not that every new employee would understand the significance of this, but sometimes, employees don't know am I a union member now? Does my job fit into this or not?
Absolutely.
Because there are, in a sense, the union contract affords folks different levels of agreements that provide the employee more of a due process. And so, yeah, but.
Are you talking about adding it to this
Yes,
section?
right,
Okay.
yeah.
And did you have in mind like just a list right after that?
Right, because like to simplify it, like I'll show you in this book. So the state of Illinois has, I don't know, however, hundreds of job titles, and we break it down into different collective bargaining agreements, and then those are listed there, not here, but on the policy manual, so that it's to just add clarity. Although, I understand that it would be repetition, and all the information is here already. So I just wanted to add it.
What if there was like a line added that said, if you're not sure where to find information on your, like, I don't know, like if your position is a union position,
Yeah.
refer to
Just
blah, blah,
to
blah.
clarify, like, do different positions, because I know, like, obviously, like, ASME and the state of Illinois, that's going to be a lot broader than,
Right.
like, ASME and
The line.
the letter,
Yeah.
like, because you're talking, like, hundreds of employees versus
Right, right.
86, so,
Right,
like,
right.
are the different positions, do they follow different contracts? Like, you know what I mean? Because, like, if that's the case, like, we might not have to go that broad, just given the nature of our environment versus, like, the state of Illinois, so that's something I keep in mind,
Right.
too. But I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to.
So what happens is this, yes, different groups are afforded different protections.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
In a sense, it's like, there are a group of employees that have, for lack of a better word, more job security
Yep.
than others.
Yeah, and
And-
I see what you're saying, I do see what you're saying, that makes
So
sense.
with an employee, like, let's just say this, right, with this, is that the employee has the right to have a union representative anytime that
Yeah.
somebody's being brought in for
Yeah.
an interview or
And all
questions.
of our, and I think too, like to your point, like all of our union staff, they all have the same entitlement. And I think with the state of Illinois, they're gonna have different entitlements based on their position. So
Sure.
this doesn't really apply to our contract because all of our union staff have the same entitlement as far as the contract's concerned, so that might not even be necessary.
And related to onboarding specifically, we list that the position is a union position in the job ad, in the job description. When the employee is onboarded, they're told that they are a union position and they get union orientation. So they are very familiar that they have that opportunity
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm comfortable with that, because again, it would be repetition.
Yeah.
but it's just.
Yeah, no, I see what you're
sometimes-
saying. It
some-
makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, sometimes people, especially during that first week, you're overwhelmed with information.
Oh, yeah.
And if you see it in multiple sites, then the idea is that it must be important because it's mentioned here, and there.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's all, but
Okay.
No,
Thank
good
you.
point.
My,
Very good point.
my only concern with that is anytime we add a position to the union contract, which I know doesn't happen very frequently, but when we do, we have to go through the process to do oh my goodness, what is that called? The
Orientation.
amendment to the contracts,
Oh,
right? And if we amend the
Memorandum,
contract,
or- yeah.
the memorandum of understanding, and if we also put those titles in the personnel manual, we would also have to go through the process of going to the board and having those titles updated each time. So it would be just something to be aware of.
right. So that portion, it's there's called supplementary agreements. That are, because you're not going to be able to go back and negotiate the contract in the middle of a contract session. So the supplementaries come in, and that's where the MOUs are getting written up. Now, we as a board would have to decide how often we're going to sit and review this manual. Are we going to do it twice a year? Every 2 years, every 3 years, what have you. And then, sometimes it's a good idea to have it consistent with the contract, the master contract. So if you're negotiating a 3-year contract, then advisable for this
I
policy.
think it's in the bylaws that it's every 2 years, but that does make sense to
Yeah.
match it to the union one, yeah.
Right, because then, you having the MOU is part of it, but then when the contract gets renewed, you take it out of the MOU and you make it part of the master agreement. Yeah. But however that works out, I'm comfortable with it because at least I know the people that, at least in the Chicago office from the union, they know it's just for the benefit of that new person coming in. Is that, if you've never been on a union job, you don't know.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm part-time, am I really a union member? What type of, is my coverage less than the full-time? And so that's why, sometimes having those job titles there to add clarity helps out.
Thank you.
I have all the further with their. I would like to just keep it as simple as possible
Yeah, yeah.
and not duplicate stuff in the policy that's in the.
Right, yeah, and it's up to us, because ultimately we have to bring it to the full board, right?
Right.
I'm comfortable either way.
Yeah.
And because again, the union folks, when they do union orientation, when they have their unions to work and such, the individual has an opportunity to get clarity there. So, yeah, we can move on.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm comfortable, I think I'm comfortable with how it is, without adding all the titles, but I wouldn't mind if we added just a line, saying like, I'm just reading through it again.
We also, at least we've been advised to be careful not to put anything in the personnel policy that looks like we are guiding union business, like telling people who to go to for union business and things like that. So we would have to be careful with wording if we added anything.
This is just a suggestion. We don't have to agree to any changes now.
Right.
We can contemplate that
Yes.
and come back and revisit it.
Yeah. Put a pin in it.
Again, yeah, because it's not that urgent, but,
Okay.
yeah, let's move on.
All right.
to the next item.
Well, I think that's just that one, and then the back side of that one, or the employment policies and practices, we're not going there, right? This was as far as we were going right now, so. The other topic for tonight is discussing what evaluation tool to use for,
That's in closed
yeah,
session.
so. Correct. So is there a motion to go into closed session?
Move to go into closed session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:26. Okay, we are back in open session at 8:14 PM. Present, we have Trustee Sheeler,
Present?
Treasurer Botello.
Present.
President Keene.
Oh, Executive Director Valerie Marshall.
HR Manager Cassandra Hamwood.
Okay, there is no action on closed session. I have two others for us. I thought it would be helpful if we maybe try to give ourselves a homework assignment, how much we want to get through before we meet again in the
Okay.
document, at least a general, like a more or less. So, let's see what we got. So we can start with employment policies and practices. Let's see. And I mean, I think going forward, what we say, maybe we meet once a month until we're through this. and
That
then-
sounds good.
okay.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
And then we go as needed or quarterly or something like that. So there's, those pages weren't even numbered, front pages. Where are they?
The introduction is.
No, I don't, I start page 22, okay, so. How about we go to, who wants to come to our meeting? The first 32 pages. More or less, you know, let's make that a goal for ourselves to get through.
Okay.
That would bring us to compensation and timekeeping. Then maybe we can split it into like 3 and then. Okay. And so when would we like to meet next? In January?
May I have your attention, please? The library will be closing in 15 minutes.
Our meeting is on the
If you need to make
21st.
arrangements for a ride,
and-
please do so now. Please bring all selections to be checked out to the
I
patron
don't think I
services
could make it
lobby
on the
at this
7th, but
time.
maybe the 14th. It doesn't have to be a Wednesday either, but if Wednesdays work for us.
So I am available now with the potential that there's going to be, well, a work-related calendar for me is going to be decided on the 5th. So while I'm agreeing to it now, there's a potential that I need to change.
Okay,
So just understand that.
that's fair.
So I'm going to, Dave, does the 14th work for you?
The 14th should work.
Okay.
My wife is having knee replacement surgery on the 13th.
Oof,
So.
Do you want to do it the 12th
Uh,
of January?
that would actually be better, I think.
Does that work for you?
probably.
I'm
Sure.
sorry, let me
Yeah.
just quickly look here. The 12th, there's. Yes. Yes.
Let's plan for that then.
All right. Thanks.
7 o'clock, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't have the board meeting in here for January.
You said the 12th, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Does anybody else have other?
No.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
1:18.